Drop the mic. Mic drop.
I'm looking for you on the. Why do days get so hectic towards the end of the day?
Mine starts hectic.
Well, yeah, mine starts
But it
hectic,
gets
and
more
then I
hectic.
kind of get to a point where I think maybe I'm in control, and then I'm not.
And you
Well,
run
but I
out-
saw-
Then you run out of time, so what happens?
Yeah,
That's
it's
exactly
like I can't
right.
wait till tomorrow because I know I'm gonna have more time tomorrow.
But I'm not. I'm never gonna have more time. Never.
I don't see.
Real quick, or
Is this a proclamation? Oh, all I have is a bright blue. I hope you have something
is
else.
this good?
That works.
I have a black one also if you want black.
So this is Arbor Day, and
Yes.
I'm not gonna bore y'all with reading it, but I will.
Wait, that one's here somewhere.
Yeah, that looks old timey.
Isn't it that one?
That one.
And then
The one that we have now is
more of a flat.
so I think I like that better.
Which one? I like that one better. That one.
That's what we have. But have you noticed ours? No one
Oh,
else
yeah.
sees them. Have you-
The one-
No, it's quite
The
bright.
one,
Yeah. Okay, guys. Oh, wait. Let me get my Zoom invite. Sorry. I'm not with it today. I don't know. Did it come from Sybil or?
Yes.
Jeez.
So we have one person.
Is that Steve?
No, it's not Gary.
Oh, let me take a picture of this and send this to.
Okay.
Steve was gonna try to get a hold of Drew.
Where
this in case Steve can join us.
Where is Steve? You doing something?
I'm not sure, but he's
Not
coming
yet.
back from Texas.
That doesn't sound that fun.
Okay, so you've got to let me in. And I'm in.
That was fast.
It's not very clear audio.
So we're using a different laptop for the first time, so that's might be why this is the
Hey,
one we have in the office.
Do you know how actually started?
No,
Okay, we're getting feedback.
oh. I no longer have service. Do you have service?
I do.
Just Wi-Fi.
I didn't have either a little while ago. No, I'm still, well, let's see. So you got the sound on for Zoom and then you go into your thing at the same time, you leave them back on.
I guess so. Do you see my individual one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's muted right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn up the sound on this. And how does that sound?
You can like disconnect from the audio on yours.
Okay, but we want to hear.
You should
Turn
be able
mine.
to hear.
But not speak.
Hit that microphone.
Okay,
Sounds all right. Ready?
Can you hear us?
but I can't hear you. I mean, I can't hear anybody that not want to talk.
Should be able to.
See if we can get April to say something.
Say something.
Okay,
Did
I
it
can
come
hear
back?
you. Okay,
She can hear on this side, access.
yeah.
Oh.
Let me turn this. Sounds like I've got it up, but I'm not. Okay, well, we'll do it and see what happens. Let me go to Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Roll call
Mayor Linda Calhoun,
here.
Counselor Sloan Covington,
Here.
Counselor Dan Foley,
Here.
Counselor George Wondell,
Here.
Counselor Steve Cherry, absent.
Okay, if you'd stand and join me for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for our town. We thank you for the good summer that we're having in spite of the pandemic and all of the issues that are going on in our country right now. We just ask for your blessing on our town, and we ask your blessing on our state and on our country. We ask that you would be with us tonight throughout this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome. First item is approval of agenda, and I would like to request that we approve it with number 9 removed on the project updates, since Counselor Cherry is not here and since Russell couldn't be here.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? And I believe we can do any of
on the list as IPAs. But we had to still run it through the state auditor's office, and they dropped the contract and all that.
Okay, so they're good. At the meeting, it sounded like we couldn't use them.
Well, there are consultants throughout this fiscal year, but this is a whole new contract that we're establishing with them. So it's different. And after this meeting, I will submit the letter with the minutes to the state auditor's office. And then from there, we'll find out how to proceed.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 26th and the special meeting of June 17th.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there anyone opposed to that? If not, motion carries. The next item is employee recognition, and it's unfortunate during this time that we can't have our employees here, but tonight we want to recognize Ed Saint, who's been with the town for 15 years, and he currently works in the fire department, and he is he does our EMS. He took over Dina's job as being the EMS director. And then he's also been, planning and zoning and EMS billing. So he's done worn a lot of hats over the years. And we really appreciate the 15 years that he's given to the town. So when you guys see him, if you would just thank him for his service to the town for all these years. Next is financial report and approval of expenditures.
Okay, for the month of May, 91.67% of the budget is used to date. In construction, we're down $4,345, 58.20%. Retail trade, we're up $185, 2.71%. Real estate, we're down $3,083, 61.52%. And accommodation food service, we're down $10,467, 65.73%. Gross receipts tax collected for the month, we're down $29,322, 49.03%. Year to date, we're down $91,000, $995, 4.79%. Lodger's tax, we had one lodge that didn't report. For the month, we're down $7,056, 60.50%. Year to date, we're down $3,119 or 0.44%. And that is my report.
Hopefully we'll start seeing it go the other direction.
We're busy.
Okay, so this is the last GRT for this fiscal year, correct?
Correct.
So we did actually end up
Down. We're down.
down 4.79. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Virginia, I had to ask you about that payment to Taos County. Is that property tax?
It is.
And we have to pay that?
We do. They had assessed the property and submitted all that before we purchased in May. So we were responsible for the property tax on the workforce housing.
Yeah, so, but for next year, there won't.
No, this is it, the final.
That's all I had. I'll make a motion to approve the expenditures.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll go to committee reports and start with public safety.
Okay, we did have a short meeting. Chief Willis reported there was 27 calls for the department as a whole. There were 3 fire calls, 12 transfers, 17 EMS. The Wyland crew got off to on their 4th Wyland fire for the year. Inspections were picking up now. Businesses are reopening. They were busy with calculating occupancy loads for Memorial Day weekend for the lodgers and the businesses. Other than that, it's been a fairly quiet month for the department. In the marshal's office, Marshal Tim Bourne reported there had not been a lot of call activity. There were a couple of burglaries in May, one in town and one in the Upper Valley. The ROV issue with the people driving on Main Street has increased again. The department's doing the best they can to try to control and educate the violators. Problem is that people are still confused about who can and who cannot drive on Main Street. And he's left some more messages for the states to try to get an answer on one way or the other for our opening ROVs on Main Street. And last time he talked to him, he said that it would probably be Labor Day before we got an answer. He had Brian Garcia, the new deputy, started to work and seems to be working out great. I've been talking to Steve Williams about coming back. He was a deputy here about 4 or 5 years ago, and his wife Annette would also like to be a police officer, but since there isn't an opening for her, they're going to try to place her in dispatch. And that would be great. We have a couple more people living in town that are having to come in. And he saw the equipment and vehicles are well maintained, running properly, so they expect a low maintenance cost coming year. And Memorial Day activity was light. Positive feedback received about interactions with the community. Most of the traffic was during the day opposed to night. Some of the community felt there was more law enforcement needed based on the amount of people. The goal was to be prepared, not underprepared. And we adjourned our meeting.
Okay. And just to give you guys an update on where we are with the OHVs on Main Street, I was able to talk to Stephanie. She is the government relations person at the highway at DOT. And so they were able to we said everything to her, and she got with Paul Brasher that we've been working with, and they were able to get it to the attorney. So we are hoping that we're going to be in front of the commission on July the third Thursday in July for approval. And so we may have to have a special meeting to introduce an ordinance to amend our OHV ordinance to allow it on Main Street. But if that happens, we may end up doing it later this week, just to introduce, and then we could adopt it at our July meeting. So hopefully we'll have that resolved by the end of July, because that's taking up a lot of your time.
The other thing that's still, you see tons of four-wheelers on High Street too. They don't realize that they're not supposed to be on any of the street.
It's a booming business right now, and it's a huge attraction to Red River, so we'll just deal with it as best we can.
Yeah.
Okay, Public Works. Steve's not here, and we don't have his minutes, do we? Parks and Rec?
We didn't have a quorum, but we do have some information that we needed to, just an update on as far as the dog park. The landscaping has been installed, the trees, the shrubs, the irrigation has been completed. The mulch is supposed to be being delivered this week, so that'll be moving along real well. And just a few minor things left. And did you want to go over the part about the trail, or wait till we go to new business?
Let's wait and do that on
Okay.
new business.
On the dog park, we're going to do any gravel or anything in that parking area?
Yes.
So that doesn't just.
Yeah, we're
muddy
planning
ruts.
on putting some flex space on top of what's out there now.
That's good.
And just as a temporary till the street project on High Street where everything will be done.
Right.
But that'll make it, they took all, when they cut out the soil for the mulch, we moved it outside the fence and put it in there leveled to help fill in some of that low spot. So we didn't have to bring in any backfill or anything. So we'll just put some flex base on top, and that should make for a nice parking for everybody to be able to access. So yeah, it's coming along real well.
Okay, we'll move to lodger's checks.
We did have a meeting
The chamber reported that they were trying a wine walk to replace art and wine, but it wasn't allowed. They had a board meeting the following week. They were working on getting DOT permit for the parade, which I believe they did get, correct? And then no official answer on the brew bash that they were trying to move to early July. From the ski area, music on top was starting 12 to 2 starting on the 13th for every Saturday. They were doing the ropes course and mini golf opening Friday. Hidden treasure changes for the ropes course was no junior harnesses and masks were required in certain areas. Season passes have no new dates, but added 2 new ski area partners. From the visitor center, number of visits were down. Constant contact email open rates were great. 4,000 new followers on Facebook, and the Albuquerque Visitor Center director was coming to town to see how we were operating because none of the other visitor centers in the state were really open or operating. So they're coming to see what we're doing here. April's report from marketing. Happy the new marketing company is already working on our website and ad. They came to town last weekend. Sent out a survey. Big thanks to the marketing RFP committee. We're working on the Google DMO program with webinars and pictures for the site, a digital audit and trainings. They're creating an essential Google visitor guide for town to expanding our Google presence. They're sending us a Google phone to help with pictures. The Clean and Beautiful grant came through, $3,200 for flower hanging baskets. And then we got some good shout outs in Reuters and Albuquerque Business Journal. Special events. The funding will roll over for next year. We don't have any money leaving the budget because everything was canceled. They're working with Michael Martin Murphy to do some promotional videos on YouTube and Facebook that will be paid out of special event funding or some type of lobster's tax promotions. Workforce housing was this is at the beginning of June, so it was 21% rented and demand was picking up. I would imagine that's probably changed since then. They have a new physical manager and he is moving forward with projects. They put bids for updating units on hold right now just to save money. Linda's on a subcommittee for economic recovery with the state. We've got some money being reinvested into New Mexico businesses instead of bringing outside businesses, hoping to have a proposal ready for the special session. New economic development coalition in town. We've invited the president to join with us in our meetings to look at how we can work together. Talked about phase 2 opening and then talking about the 4th of July parade, which is kind of old news. So, and we adjourn.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, so mayor's report. If I could just remind you guys to please submit the minutes of your meetings to Therese so that we can get them in our packets, because that goes out to the community and they can see those. We had a North Central New Mexico Economic Development Board meeting on Friday, and there's actually some economic development money available, grants for municipalities and loans for businesses. So I'm going to meet with the director of that tomorrow and kind of get a little more information on that and see if we can get some money out into the community to help some of our businesses. We did an Arbor Day proclamation, so we will be a tree city for this year. We won't be having an actual ceremony or tree planting because of the pandemic, but we have completed all of the requirements, so we are a tree city. And then the parade, we talked about that. It's going to be modified. I think the chamber is going to be meeting next Monday or Tuesday to kind of confirm exactly how that's going to happen. And then we are working on the visitor center is working on the 125th birthday party for the town. And we'll be doing that on the 3rd. There's going to be a virtual party. We're going to have cupcakes and buttons to pass out. So we will have an actual event here at some point. Our next meeting with the governor's staff is Thursday. I did get an email today with the guidelines for the schools to reopen. And I read something where Dr. Scray said we may not go to phase 2 for a couple more weeks, but I'm hoping come Thursday she does a press conference and we go to phase 2. You know, I know that the concerns right now are that wineries can't be opened, that Bars can't be open unless they serve at least 50% of food. We're talking about doing activities for children for out of state, because right now it's only limited to in-state. And then swimming pools, because there's not enough inspectors to get the swimming pools inspected so those can get open. So that's kind of the 4 things that I've got on my agenda to talk to you about on Thursday.
Is there any talk, and I know we kind of talked about it earlier, about how some of these bars that do have restaurants in them could potentially, I know historically maybe they're not at 50% food, but maybe they could modify going forward for a while?
That's the question. Yeah. So we always email what we want to talk about. So I emailed all those concerns today. Yeah. So we'll hopefully address them on Thursday. I think that's everything for me. Happy was here from our new advertising agency on Thursday. They had a great weekend. We had a great response from the community with Sloan took them fishing, and they were up at the ski area, and they had great meals, and it was just a really good opportunity for them to get acquainted with Red River, and I think we're going to be really happy with them. Really happy. All right, we'll move on to new business, and the first item is to ratify 2 new members to Parks and Rec. We're going to add Paulette Kiker and Cecil Burnett. So if I could have a motion to ratify those 2.
I'll make a motion to ratify Paulette Kiker and Cecil Burnett to Parks and Rec.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call.
Counselor George Wondell,
Yes.
Counselor Sloan Covington,
Yes.
Counselor Dan Foley.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next item is consideration and approval of naming the trail loop extension. Dan, you want to kind of let us know what y'all are thinking?
Okay, so each one of y'all, I've given you a drawing that was done just to kind of, so everybody be familiar with what we're looking at. So right now, currently, we have behind the conference center here has been known as the nature trail from right here by the ski area. And it runs all the way down towards the end right there by Goose Lake. And so what we're looking at doing is trying to unify, maybe consolidate. And so if you'll notice on there, you see right there by the copper chair, what we're wanting to do is kind of designate that as like the central starting point, so we can have 2 or 3 trails that will be named, color coded, and actually marked, so that as we have visitors and people, if somebody should get lost or accident happens, the fire department EMS can make a faster response. So allow the tourists and people to know what trails we actually do have and what's available. So, and if you'll notice in the drawing, there's a little blue dotted line. That's just the walk right out here on our side of the river. And so we were wanting just, that's like a walking trail pretty much. So we didn't necessarily want to leave it or name it, but that's what that is. So what we were wanting to do is we'll put a sign, start some signage right there by the copper chair, which will show the nature trail coming back towards Best Western over here to this end. And then the other part, what used to be their nature trail, since they've added the loop part up on the top, we wanted to rename that and call it a loop, so people will know that there is an actual loop that they can walk around. And you'll notice in the drawing also there by where that sled hill is in the little brown, there's a trail there that runs along that everybody has always called that the fence line trail. So what we're wanting to do again is to try and actually do each one of the parts of the trail and mark them and name them, so we'll know, like I said, come up with a color code. And then in the drawing, you'll see in the picture in the back, just to kind of give you, that's what the forest is using. And we're talking about doing some sort of a wooden sign with a little marker, but it'll have the trail name, and each one of the trails will be color coded to that. So if the person says, well, I'm on, the sign was a pink sign or something, you will know which one they're on. Now, what I'm asking, the committee has recommended on this new loop, as you can see, there's several different ways that it runs. In the drawing, you'll see there's double draws, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of draws up on that upper part of the trail. And so that's where the name Double Draws was one of them that came in. The three finals was the Double Draw, the Pioneer, and the Lookout. And so,
Ponderosa,
what we were wanting to do is,
Ponderosa, not Pioneer.
oh yeah, no, did I say Pioneer? I'm sorry. Yes, Ponderosa, my bad. But yeah, so those were the three names that came up with. And again, the council, if we, the committee just wanted to let you guys make the decision on what y'all think. Again, double draw kind of refers that there's there. I know there's a lot of, been informed that there's quite a bit of the ponderosas that are up on top. So if you, again, just trying to think of different things for signs and stuff we can put in for people. If you went with a name like the Double Draw Loop or the Ponderosa Loop or Lookout Loop is what we're hoping for, one of the three. And the committee's fine with any way you go with it. If we went with Double Draw Loop, then there is an area up there with all the Ponderosas that could be marked off as like Ponderosa Park. And then I've been told there's several observation areas where you can actually look out and look back over into Red River. So again, the decision is up to you guys. And like I said, we're hoping to be able to start this part as the beginning so we can get all of our trail systems, signage and maps and get everything going from there. So that'll be our first start. And there are quite a few people using the trail system now up there. And like I said, we just don't have any reference point for anybody to know where they're going. So we'd really like to move forward with that and go from there. So.
I have a favorite. I think Ponderosa is nice because it's just kind of the Ponderosas, but did the committee have a favorite?
They didn't. We, like I said, the way the votes came down, these were the top three out of the 6 that were submitted. And so again, like I said, that's however the council wants to vote for it. But those were the 3 recommendations. And again, like I said, the idea of making that the loop, again, we wanted to do that so people will know there is a loop. So if you start off one way that you can come back around. And then what we're doing, like I said, right there by the copper chair at that point, what we want to do is put a big sign that's got the different, the loop name, the fence line trail and all the nature trail. And, little arrows pointing and just give them an idea of what, and even perhaps marking like a difficulty level so people would know that, it's like the river walks, definitely easy. The nature trail is pretty easy. And then, but that's where we are with that. And then we're hoping to have some volunteers coming to town here in a couple of weeks that we're going to try to utilize to freshen up a couple of the trails as well.
So, I mean, all 3 names make sense. And so I guess I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think?
I like him. I mean, are you planning on saying this, whatever loop?
Yeah, we definitely want to make.
But which one?
What is
Because
Whichever one.
the main one is the one that we need to name.
Right. I like all your ideas.
You got to come up with one.
Yeah.
Ponderosa sounds
Hey,
great.
it's like I told the committee, it doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't count as a vote. So.
Ponderosa is quite fun. Double draw is a little unique. It's different.
Yeah.
And again, the double draw the name even came because of there is actually up there a double draw. So again, if we wanted to incorporate all 3 names, you could name it the double draw with the Ponderosa Park and the lookout places along the trail, or we could actually mark them that way. But again, or we can call it the Ponderosa or the lookout loop, either one. So
I like
Or
the double
you-
draw with the Ponderosa Park.
no,
Okay. George is liking the double draw loop with the Ponderosa Park. Is it a pretty
from what I understand,
well-defined park there?
Well,
Yeah, from
it's
what
an
I
area that
understand.
it's kind of, it has a lot of deadfall in it that maybe someday need to be cleared out to make it prettier.
Yeah.
But there's an area it's kind of flat and it's opened up. I hiked it the other day. It does have a lot of trees in it.
Okay, you want to make that in the form of a motion?
Okay, I'll do that.
The motion was,
To do double draw loop with Ponderosa Park.
Second.
And do we want to include the lookouts? Or, I mean, those could be added, but the name for the loop would be double draw then is what y'all are.
Okay, any other questions, discussion?
Dan, is there, who is it that's gonna maybe, you're gonna have these volunteers work on the nature trail part or?
Well, actually, what we're gonna do from what I've been told, part of the loop here, it's either on the nature trail right here on the new loop, on the old existing, what used to be part of the nature trail that we're renaming.
Yeah.
I've been told we've got an area that's kind of
pretty slippery.
harder.
Slippery steep, and
Yeah, pretty steep and it's gotten kind of rough, so we're hoping the volunteers coming in, we're gonna be able to utilize them and put them to helping with signage and just like I said, we want to just try and do that, clean up that part of the trail. And again, be able to mark some of these so people will know it's a moderate or what level of a trail they're gonna be on.
that's my thinking was if I don't know if we could get in contact with Rocky Mountain Youth Corps and, because the actual nature trail from here to the Platinum Trail, that one's in bad shape also.
Yeah, no, the whole thing
And we
needs to
need to
be,
get somebody to work on that.
yeah.
The Youth Corps might be able to do that, and they work with the Forest Service all the time, so that'd be no problem getting that.
Well, that'd be something we could check with them on and see. That's an excellent
Because
idea.
again, it's supposed to be an easy tip, but it's got a lot of
Yeah.
steep, slippery stuff and
Yeah.
stairs that are no good.
Well, and I know one of them, they said there's a spot that you start off and then it has a pretty good incline, like a slide area, so it looks like pretty simple, but then it gets a little more complicated, so. But that's our goal. Again, we're ready to start moving forward with that. Again, offering more things for our locals as well as the tourists for activities to do.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Let's do roll call.
Counselor Dan Foley,
I'll vote yes.
Counselor Sloan Covington,
Yes.
Counselor George Warrendorf.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
All righty.
Next, good job. You guys are getting some stuff done. That's awesome.
Oh, we're excited. Like I said, it's just, trying to get that all set up. And then, like I said, we're hoping to start on out here in the front as one of our next big projects. But
Okay, next item is to award some bids. The first one is ITB number 420 for fish stocking. And we received one proposal. And it was with Crowther's Freshwater Trout, who we used several years. And the proposal did meet specifications. Is there anything different about it this year?
Not necessarily in the writing. I spoke to him about the fiscal year, and so we talked about possibly, if weather permits, we could stock the river and the ponds during spring break or whatever, and he was agreeable to that. So it just, he's very workable. He'll work with us any way we can, so.
That'd be good, because I've been, like with the grandkids, I've been going down there and reeling people fishing, they're all going, there's no fishing. There's no fishing this river. So it'd be nice to have something a little earlier on, so that when we had these people here in May and June, they could catch a fish.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have been, we've been receiving for the last couple of weeks now, I think.
Yeah.
So twice a week we've been stocking.
do we know how many drop things we actually drop in? Or?
I think it fluctuates. I think
They
it's
vary
kind of
too.
varied. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the state, it kind of depends because the state will come and stock as well. So if they pull up, or one or the other pulls up and the other one is just stuck, they're not gonna come in.
They'll move it down, up and down. So it varies up and down the whole. Excellent.
Okay. If I could have a motion to award ITB 420.
I'll make a motion to award ITB 420.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Counselor Sloan Covington,
Yes.
Counselor Dan Foley,
Yes.
Counselor George Warren.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, the next one is ITB 520, and this is for our public works services that we do every year, and we received 4 proposals. They all met specifications, and typically we award
The one in red, I believe, are the lower.
the lower bids.
Yes.
Okay, so you can kind of see how it's broken down as far as the backhoe work and the bulldozer and paving and pothole repair. So if we could just, do we need to name who's going to do what, or just award the lowest bid?
It's just award, according to the bid tabulator, the lowest bid on the bid tabulator.
Okay. So if I could have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we award the bids to the lowest tab per item that be required.
Perfect.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or discussions? Roll call.
Counselor Dan Foley,
Yes.
Counselor George Wondell,
Yes.
Counselor Sloan Covington.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next is ITB 620, and this is for road construction materials. Again, we received 3 bids. They did meet the specs, and we have the lowest bids are highlighted in red for each category. So if I could have a motion to award that.
I'll duplicate that motion here.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Counselor George Wondell,
Yes.
Counselor Dan Foley,
Yes.
Counselor Sloan Covington.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right, so we're going to public comment. I just want to remind everyone, I'm not sure how many are on, but we need to limit each comment to 3 minutes. So is there anybody that would like to speak or have a public comment?
Yeah, hey, it's Reed. I'll go.
Is
What was
that,
that?
Read.
so you're okay. Go ahead, Reed.
Okay, thanks. Hey, I just wanted to see if we could push some more education for OHVs versus ATVs. The picture that you guys did last week was great to show like the ROV on Main Street, but just kind of the verbiage can be confusing. And we've had a bunch of ATVs in the Tenderfoot neighborhood, and with the dirt roads, they're acting like it's a racetrack, but also just noticed a bunch more. So that was the only thing. Just be cool to see some like pictures, better visuals, so people can better understand what's allowed and what's not.
Okay. We'll try to do that, and we'll also maybe we can coordinate with the chamber and help. They can get some verbiage out for us too, so the two of us together can hopefully cover all our bases.
Cool.
Anybody else?
We'll get something out, Reed, for that tomorrow.
Awesome.
So
Thanks,
something that
April.
we can reiterate to the lodges when they have their guests check in to either nightly rentals or the hotels if they can't bring the four-wheelers on the street.
Yeah, we can
That's probably
certainly
first
do
point to
that.
try to get the word to them.
Yeah. It's going to be a constant battle, but we'll certainly stay on it. So. All right, anybody else? One more? No?
Just one minute left.
Okay,
I think that's it.
okay.
I think that's everybody.
All right, if there's no other business before the council, we will be adjourned. Thank you all.